The Nigerian army will not allow itself to be used to undemocratically sell some interest to power. As a service that received the most image bashing as a fallout of previous military interventions in Nigeria, the Nigerian army is now poised to losing the new prestige it has painstakingly built in the past 25 years.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taufik Labaja, speaking in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, there's nothing else he will say. He's not expected to go against his boss. Even if a military coup is under works right now, he's not expected to say it in public. What should worry Nigerian leaders is why Nigerians are calling on the military to take over power from civilians. Nigerians are smart people. They must have compared past military regimes to the current regime. Although the problems Nigerians are facing and the decline of Nigeria's economy didn't actually start today, but there's no denying the fact that the current administration made many things worse by devaluing the naira by more than 200%, by increasing the price of petrol. Petrol today is sold more than 3 times, or in some cases 4 times, how much it was sold during Buhari's administration, or to even compare during Goodluck Jonathan's administration. Yes, even if you're 20 years today, you must have experienced Goodluck Jonathan's administration, not to talk of those who experienced the military regimes in the 90s. And to make matters worse, the current administration didn't learn anything from the last nationwide hunger protest because they have been provoking Nigerians. They didn't address any of the demands. That's why Nigerians are calling the next protest that will start from October 1st, fearless protest. Instead of addressing demands of Nigerians, Tinubu is busy wasting money on things that are avoidable, buying a new presidential jet that cost more than 200 billion naira, also buying a new fleet of SUVs that are used in his convoy. So you can imagine he's telling Nigerians to hold on and be patient, that things will materialize in the near future, while he is busy enjoying his life in opulence. This is an administration that has the largest cabinet in Nigeria's history. What are all the ministers doing? How have they impacted on lives of Nigerians? How have they turned around Nigeria's economy? So it's very obvious that this administration is paying lip service and deceiving Nigerians that things will materialize in the near future while they go on living their lives of opulence. So instead of the Chief of Army Staff always coming out to reassure the current administration that they will never allow a military coup to happen under his command, he should spare some time to at least advise them to solve the numerous problems Nigerians are facing. Even in the military, he is aware that there is serious suffering. The current salaries of soldiers are not enough for them. The other time we saw a video of a soldier who wanted to go back to his base after spending months on deployment, but he couldn't go back to his base because of the high cost of transportation. Transportation cost alone was on par with his salary. What is he going to give his family when he gets there?
I went to as I come out for bush now I reach back. They tell me say from here to my town 5,000. Now I go calculate 5,000 going and come back, that is 70,000. And 50,000 now my salary go they pay me for this month. But I not give option again. I go back to bush.
Unfortunately, the soldier was detained for revealing his experience. It's not clear if he has been released since then. It's very obvious that the hardship is not affecting only the people calling on the military to take over power. The hardship is everywhere, being experienced by soldiers, civil servants, everyone. In fact, the people that have fixed earnings, especially people that earn salaries, are worst hit. Once there is inflation, it will affect them heavily. Even business people, they are experiencing low sales because many people are more focused on food items alone. A business person that can't make profit that will cover his monthly expenditure is doomed, because in no time he will start eating into his capital, and you know where it ends. The business will eventually go under. And depending on the size of the business, maybe the person employs 1 or 2 persons, that's 2 people that will lose their jobs in the future. So you see, we have a huge problem in our hands. The chain reaction is just endless. So they need to solve the hunger very fast by reversing some of their failed policies. A hungry man is not only an angry man, but also a very desperate man. Imagine all the police, soldiers, and other security personnel that are legally armed by the government and their salaries can't take them home. What could go wrong? And considering the fact that Nigeria is already facing serious security challenges, so it's easy to wish away a military coup because they have the loyalty of DOCs and other commanders. As such, the lower ranking officers will never get access to heavy weapons that will be used to prosecute a military coup. Not that a military regime is better than a civilian regime, but the mere fact that we are making the comparison shows you that there is a problem with the civilian regime, so you can never wish it away. Why not address it the same way General Abu Salami Abubakar recommended? He once said that the only way to guarantee that there will not be any military coup against a civilian government is to ensure that there is good governance. Once there is good governance, everyone will mind their business. Even Nigerians, no one will be talking about protest if they are not hungry. It happened in the 90s under Abacha. Despite all the protests at the time, none was ever for hunger. People were only protesting to drive the military back to the barracks. Nigerians aren't lucky with military regimes unlike some of our West African neighbors. They always make things worse, looting the country dry. Instead of making institutional changes that will strengthen the unity of the country and guarantee that the country must develop, they involve their selfish interest and ethnic interest. For instance, look at the 1995 Constitutional Conference that was held to produce a people-oriented federal constitution. In the end, the military threw it away and drafted a new one. That new one is the one we are using in the Fourth Republic. And everyone can see how the constitution and our laws have been abused by the current administration. It has always been the problem with the military. All the time they took power from civilians except that of 1966. They've only taken that power because they weren't the ones doing the looting. When Buhari and Idiabo took over power from Shehu Shagari, one of the reasons they gave at the time was corruption among the civilian regime. At the end of the day, the regime had its own share of corruption scandals. When IBB and his group struck and removed Buhari from power, we all know all the corruption scandals under his regime, most especially the Gulf War oil windfall. $12.5 billion is still missing and unaccounted for by IBB. What about General Sani Abacha? His loot continues to be recovered till this very day. At the last count, it has surpassed $5 billion. Under Abacha was the first time in Nigeria's history that a head of state will order the central bank governor through the finance minister to withdraw cash from the central bank vault and deliver the cash to Asorok to be laundered abroad. The chief launderer of Abacha's ill-gotten loot is currently serving under the current administration. And he is the Minister of Budget and Planning, the minister that cooks the federal budget. Make of that what you mean. In conclusion, Nigerians haven't had luck with past military regimes. They only intervened because they were jealous of civilians stealing all the money. Not to stop them from stealing the money, it was because they weren't the ones stealing it. Because all the time they intervened, they never made any institutional changes to Nigeria to prevent looting in the future. They only started looting for themselves endlessly until they were pushed from power. So the mere fact that Nigerians are calling for military coup doesn't mean they actually believe in it. It's just that they are frustrated and helpless. They are simply seeking for help because they are desperate. A hungry man is desperately angry. He can do anything to survive. It's better they spend more time to address the issues, because if the military is refusing to heed to their call, you cannot predict how desperate they will act in the future. Thanks for watching.